welcome to this week's installment of Duck TV for 3. I'm Jake Willard. I'd like to start off the show by giving a quick shout out to all the moms out there watching. Happy Mother's Day. It's been quite the week for Oregon athletics, so let's hit the ground running. The Oregon baseball team took on San Diego in a quick one-game matchup in Hillsboro last Monday. True freshman Cole Stringer pitched 7 stellar innings, allowing 2 earned runs and leading the Ducks to a 5-2 victory. Following that victory, the Ducks traveled to Phoenix, Arizona, where they dropped the first 2 games of the 3-game set to the Arizona State Sun Devils. They lost a late-inning lead in both contests, despite AJ Balta having 4 RBIs between the 2 games. The tides turned on Sunday, however, as the Ducks won the last game of the series 12-2, as Balta notched 8 RBIs and 2 home runs this past week. Oregon baseball will have a quick turnaround following the Arizona State series, as the team will start a 2-game series against the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Bulldogs hold a record of 25-15 on the season and a 2-1 record against Pac-12 opponents Washington and Washington State. The games start at 6 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday. Now switching to softball, the Ducks shut out Utah Valley in a doubleheader sweep on Tuesday, taking Game 1 7-0 and Game 2 19-0. In Game 2, Sheridan Hawkins notched her 101st career victory for the Ducks, becoming the school's all-time wins leader. Later in the week, Oregon flew south to Berkeley to take on the California Golden Bears, splitting the first 2 games of the 3-game series. The team got back on track on Sunday, however, winning the 3rd game of the series 5-2. Now moving away from the diamond, we turn to the track, as Oregon hosted their annual Twilight Meet at historic Hayward Field. High school senior and future Duck Katie Rainsberger ran 4:14 for the 1500 meters. That is the 5th fastest time for high school girls and the number 2 time for high schoolers in the United States this year. One of the biggest upsets of the meet was from the man known as King Edward Cheserek. After his surprise loss at Oregon Relays and not competing at Peyton Jordan last week, Ches took to the track in the men's 3K, finishing 2nd to Lewis and Clark State's Sam Atkin. Now let's move on to some highlights. Coming in at number 5, we have Oregon softball's Sheridan Hawkins' historic night against Utah Valley. Coming up with her 101st win as a Duck, she passed Oregon legend Jessica Moore to top the all-time list. At 4, we keep it on the diamond as Oregon softball crushed not 1, but 2 grand slams in their Game 2 victory against Utah Valley. Gwen Sveckes started off with 1 in the first inning, and Janelle Lindvall came up with the other. Moving on to number 3, we have the upset of the week from Lewis and Clark State's Sam Atkin. He beat Oregon star Edward Cheserek at his own game, taking the men's 3K at Oregon Twilight with a monster kick down the final straightaway. The track action continues at number 2 as Oregon track's shining star and the world's greatest athlete, Ashton Easton, returned to Hayward and finished with a 2nd place time of 45.78 seconds. And finally, running in at number 1, we have Oregon freshman Matthew Mayton. He took the victory in the men's 1500 at Twilight with his time of 3 minutes and 42 seconds. The victory puts him in contention for a spot on the line at NCAA Nationals. Well, that just about wraps up this week's show. Make sure to check out our full-length show on Wednesday and follow us on Twitter at DuckTV Sports and Instagram at DTV Sports. I'm Jake Willard. See you next week.